Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video. So the newest card reveals have just come out, and it's Ionia, so we are getting Lulu, it looks like. It basically hinted towards that, the Fey Guardian or whatever her title is going to be revealed tomorrow. And in the first video of these new reveals, card reveals for this expansion, where they released the Targon support units, I had kind of predicted at the very end of that video that Lulu was going to be released this patch because she is a support champion in League of Legends, and so I was pretty certain that she's going to have a support ability or at least support followers, and it looks like I'm right. One thing that I was wrong about though is that I didn't think they were going to release a ton of more support units from other regions, but I was kind of looking over these cards and was proved a little bit wrong here. Most of them have support abilities. Now, whether or not they release more support cards for other regions, because Ionia and Targon are basically the most represented in this archetype, they may release more in other regions. We'll kind of see what they decide to do here. I don't know that there's any other champions coming out from other regions that are technically like support-like champions. Well, besides maybe Leona. Leona, I guess, could be a support kind of champion as well. We'll see. She's a support in League of Legends as well, but besides that, I don't know that in other regions, existing regions, that they're going to have any more support champions and support units released. We'll wait and see, but they are trying to make this a more serious archetype and kind of more interactive and more ways to play it. Yeah, we'll just see what they do. I kind of am on the side of wanting them to release more in other regions, just so there's more versatility with the archetype. But that's my opinion, and yeah, I don't think Riot takes my opinion into account at all. All right, so the first card here that was revealed is the Young Witch. So support to give my supported ally quick attack +1/+0 this round. So this card is basically a weaker version of Legion Drummer. From Noxus. So I say weaker because even though this unit is granting +1 in quick attack to your supported ally, the stat line is awful, 1/1. So again, they are releasing a ton of cards in this support archetype that are very understated, and I can kind of see why, because a lot of the Targon cards are granting stats. I think most of the support cards that grant, unless I'm mistaken, well, I guess Targ doesn't, but the other cards are granting permanent like health and attack and support abilities like that. So I'm wondering if they're trying to kind of tone down what they're doing with these other cards, and so they have really diminished stat lines. But that, once again, it doesn't really affect like the existing cards. So Legion Drummer is still a 3/2. It's a much more viable card than Young Witch. Yeah, it's just super easy. So you're dropping this card on round 2. If you've got another small unit out, like another 1 health unit, which is apparently going to be pretty common in this expansion, you just use a Make It Rain from Bilgewater. You've got Mystic Shot, Static Shot, Withering Well, just all of these cards to counter anything that these support units are going to do, and you can take them out. I don't know how viable this is. This Young Witch is maybe going to get 1 attack in. And keep in mind as well that these support units, their abilities are strictly offensive. They're not used defensively. And so you have to get value out of it on your offensive attacking turn. Otherwise, you don't really get value out of it at all. And so it's basically, you have half the time that these abilities are even going to come into play, and the other time you are either forced to block with them to avoid taking extra damage to your Nexus, or too much damage, or you don't block and then take the damage. This 1/1 stat line, yeah, pretty bad. It slows down the archetype because you're incentivized to get something like the Mountain Sojourners down, or Tiari the Traveler, so that you can buff up these units and give them more health. The problem with that is, like I said, it slows down kind of the type of deck, and if you're going against early game aggression, you might really suffer from taking too much damage early and not being able to recover from that. Yeah, and I mean this because you need to protect your units, so you don't really want to play them before you can get other units down and take and then having them potentially taken out by a spell. So yeah, slows down kind of your playstyle and makes you susceptible to aggressive decks. Now, alright, so that's kind of my thought on the Young Witch. I don't know that she's necessarily going to be playable early on. I don't know. There might be better options. Guess we'll see here in the future. So, the next card that we have is the Flower Child. This is a little blurry. So, Flower Child, a 1-drop. When I'm supported, grant me +2/+0. So this is kind of a new, not necessarily keyword, but a new ability where these units get even more buffed when they're supported. So I can see the synergy between the Flower Child and the Young Witch, that they kind of want them to be played together, because the Young Witch is granting +1 attack, and then all of a sudden, if this Flower Child is supported, it gets +2. So it's got a 4/2 stat line all of a sudden with quick attack, which could be really nice. Again, you can also pair this with the Legion Drummer. Would also be a super viable use of that card, and could get it to work pretty well. One thing that we don't have yet is a 1-drop support granting unit. I wonder if, I kind of doubt at this point that we're going to get it. I think they may think that's a little bit too overpowered to have a 1-drop that you can get a support on like right off the get-go. So I don't know that we're going to get a 1-cost support unit. This Flower Child is kind of like the alternative, that when it is supported, it gets greater stats. This card, I actually like a lot for a 1-drop. It seems pretty powerful when paired in a support archetype. I think this is going to be a viable card in competitive decks. Yeah, it's got 2 health, so it makes it at least less susceptible to things like Vile Feast and Make It Rain. That's really nice. And yeah, I think it will, excuse me, I think it will be viable. So yeah, the design and kind of the new ability that this card has is going to be kind of refreshing, also making it playable with things like I said, the Legion Drummer. So yeah, awesome card, awesome ability. It may be a little bit overpowered, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if they lowered the health stat down. Because once again, if it's working in a support archetype, you get like Tiara the Traveler down, Mountain Sojourners, all of a sudden this card is dealing a ton of damage, and has a ton of health and a ton of ways to kind of preserve its health. So we'll see what happens. 1-drop, I think that's a fantastic 1-drop. Alright, so this one, Fuzzy Caretaker, it has a similar ability. Once again, when I'm supported, give me +0/+3 this round, so more health when it's supported. Extra health synergizes really well with the Targon cards as well. And then it also has a support ability, give my supported ally +3/+0 this round. So if you get multiple Fuzzy Caretakers down, it's going to they're going to compound, kind of, I guess. Get extra health and attack. It is a 4-drop. As a 4-drop card, I think this is pretty good. Nothing too bad about this. I'm kind of intrigued by this receiving extra stats when supported. It seems kind of strong to me. Especially if it has 3 health here, it's going to be kind of hard to take out without the use of a lot of spells. And it's not granting extra health, which is nice, so it's only going to last the round. Unlike the Targon cards, it's only giving it, so it's going to go away at the end of the round. But it's going to give it a lot more survivability when it's attacking. Keep in mind, once again, that these support abilities only take effect when you're attacking, so really only half the time. So it's not maybe as powerful as you are thinking. Alright, so the next card here, we have the Tasty Feyfolk. Oh, hey, that's kind of funny. Look what he's planting here. See if we can do that. See what he's planting? He's got like a little eggplant here. Alright, I just noticed this, and then you have Tasty Feyfolk. So I wonder if they plant them and then eat them. That's kind of weird. Alright, so this Tasty Feyfolk has Lifesteal. It's a 4/2. As far as lifesteal units go, there really aren't a lot outside of Shadow Isles. They've got like the Soul Gorger and they've got the Wanderer. There may be a couple that I'm forgetting. But yeah, there's not really a lot in other regions. So Tasty Feyfolk adding Lifesteal to Ionia could be kind of interesting. Um, Generally, I guess as far as lifesteal goes, it makes a deck more controlling. They are kind of countering this by giving it only 2 health, though, so it doesn't get a lot of hits. Whereas the Soul Gorger, I think, is a 3/7 stat line, so it can withstand multiple hits and get multiple uses out of its lifesteal. This one may only get 1 use. It is a 4. You get 4 health back from it. So we can kind of compare this to the Dead Bloom Wanderer, which has a 3/2 stat line. You do toss cards, so it fits that archetype a little bit better. This card is almost like a buffed up version of the Dead Bloom Wanderer. It doesn't fit the Meal archetype, but you still get the lifesteal out of it. And I think this still could work in certain decks. Initially, the 2 health does kind of limit what it can do, but I think this card might be stronger than a lot of people give it credit for, and find a way in decks, especially ones that are more controlly. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. All right, and this card, Swole Squirrel. Oh, he's got a little tattoo here too, a little hook. It's like an islander. All right, Swole Squirrel, strike, double my power. Wow. Okay. So I don't know if this is like a Shiraz of the Blade where it deals double damage, or does he get double power? I think he gets double power. I think it when he I'm not really sure how this card works. I'll have to see when it comes out, or if they release footage. What I'm guessing is that if he strikes, you're going to get 6 power, and then if you strike again, you're going to get 12. This is kind of a new ability. Interesting. This card, I don't know what to think about it, because you're kind of forced to be slow, right? And so this could work in maybe a rally deck with Demacia. But okay, so here's my thoughts on this. I don't think this card is as good as people think it is. The ability seems super strong, but hear me out here. So in order to get multiple uses out of this ability, you're going to have to strike more than once. So that limits you to striking once every 2 rounds, right? Outside of a rally deck where you can get multiple strikes in. Oh, no. You do get strikes on defending as well. So, oh wait, okay, so maybe this card is pretty powerful. So if you have ways to protect this card, you can get extreme value out of it. And then pairing it maybe in an Overwhelm deck. Yeah, that could be really, really strong. I'm like imagining this card in a Kato deck, or yeah, Noxus deck with Overwhelm. This could be a super strong card, and then pairing it maybe with things like the Fuzzy Caretaker can help it survive longer by granting it more health. Yeah, and then having like the Kato the Arm after he has a ton of extra damage, then he can get a huge hit with Overwhelm. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of theory crafting here with this card. Maybe it is a little better than I think, but I still don't think this is going to be a game-changing card. Stats only go so far. They do best in things like Overwhelm decks, especially at the end of the game, where you can finish off the game with stats. Other than that, other abilities are usually used to finish off games. So, Soul Squirrel, this could be a really good card. I'll have to see how the ability actually works, but as far as I can tell, you're going to double your power every time you strike, and it's permanent. So, this could be a really good card in certain decks. I also like the design. I think it's super funny. Alright, so I think that's about it. Yep, that's it. So, pretty interesting cards. I'm pretty excited for this, actually. Lulu, once again, I said this yesterday with Tark, she's now my favorite sort of champion thematically. I would like other champions released first. That being said, though, I really like what they're doing to the support archetype. Besides this young witch, which I think is a little bit understated, all these other cards I think will find places in decks and can be used in certain in certain situations. The Young Witch, though, I'm not completely convinced about, and if you pair Ionia with Noxus like I was thinking, I think the Legion Drummer is still better than the Young Witch. So overall, yeah, I'm super happy about them adding more cards into the support archetype. I didn't think they were going to give as many as we have now seen and have been revealed, so pretty happy about that and excited about this new expansion. We'll see Lulu tomorrow and we'll get some more thoughts on it. But yeah, this adds a lot more versatility. Ionia and Targon are going to be a thing, and I think Ionia and Noxus could be a thing too. We'll have to wait and see for these other cards though. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you can leave a comment. Tell me which card is your favorite from this newly released set of cards here. And yeah, tell me which champions you're most excited for and which ones you would like to see in this expansion as well. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.